Good day, class. So here is the continuation of our module 2 in solving the resultant of force system, and right now we are dealing with the resultant of parallel force system. Okay, for example, problem number 2, find the values of P and F so that the four forces shown in the figure produce an upward resultant of 300 pounds acting at 4 feet from the left end of the bar. So we have a force system here acting on a body, on a bar, supported at the left end. Okay. So given na yung ating resultant which acts at 4 feet. So maybe here. So yung resultant natin acts 4 feet from the left end. Okay. And sabi natin, yung resultant is yung summation ng ating forces. So along y yung ating forces, so that will be along y component. So this will be upward positive. So yung resultant natin given na, so that is 300 pounds. So that is equal to the summation of the force system. Okay, so that will be 100 pounds. So going downward will be negative 100 plus our force P minus our force F dahil downward siya, and upward naman yung ating 200, so that will be plus 200 pounds. So simplifying our equation, we will get P minus F, that is equal to 200. Okay, so let us call this equation 1. Okay, and sabi natin, yung moment ng resultant natin at any point is equal siya dun sa summation moment ng ating forces at that point. Okay, so in this case, let us itong sa left end, let's call this point A, and dito sa pinakadulo, let's call this point B. So para makuha natin yung ibang makagawa tayo ng equation gamit yung ating summation of moment. So that will be yung moment. So that will be yung moment ng resultant R about point A. Okay, is equal siya sa summation moment ng ating forces at point A. Okay, so i-indicate natin na clockwise will be positive. Okay, so resultant, i-moment natin given yung resultant which is 300 pounds, so that will be 300 pounds. Perpendicular distance will be 4 feet. So yung direction ng moment niya will be counterclockwise, so this will be negative. Okay, so equal siya sa summation moment at point A ng ating force system. So class, itong 100 pounds hindi na natin yan mai-moment kasi wala siyang distance, there is no perpendicular distance. Yung direction and yung line of action ng force niya is directly siya doon sa point A. Okay, so ang may moment natin sa point A will be yung force P, force F, and then yung ating 200 pounds. Okay, so that will be force P times 2 feet. That will be negative din kasi counterclockwise siya. Okay, and force F, so that will be clockwise, so plus F times 3 feet plus 2 feet, that will be 5 feet, and minus, so counterclockwise yung ating 200 pounds, so that will be 200 times, so this is 3 feet, 5 feet, so 7 feet. And we can solve for the force P and F by solving the two equations simultaneously. So let us call this equation 2. Okay, so solving the two equations to unknown, so it will give us force P is equal to 400 pounds, and our force F will be equal to 200 pounds. So this will be our final answer. So next will be we have the distributed loadings. Okay, so sometimes a body may be subjected to a loading that is distributed over its surface. For example, the pressure of the wind on the face of a sign, the pressure of water within a tank, or the weight of the sand on the floor of a storage container. So that are these are all distributed loadings. Okay, so the pressure exerted at each point on the surface indicates the intensity, the value of the loading. Okay, so we have a body here subjected to a uniformly distributed loading. So meron tayong dalawang case na example dito. So for uniform distributed load, yung resultant ng forces niya is always acting at the center. Okay? Doon sa centroid ng ating body. Okay? And for the triangular line load, so yung resultant niya is acting at the 2/3 of the length ng ating body. Okay? In this case, we have the beam AB. So, yung resultant ng triangular loading will be yung location niya 2/3 from the left end, from the point A. So, the resultant force is equivalent to the area under the loading diagram and has a line of action that passes through the centroid. Diba? Ang centroid ng square will be dun sa sentro, mid. Okay? And yung sa triangle naman, that will be 2/3 from the point A. Tama? And sabi niya dito, yung resultant is equivalent to the area ng ating load diagram. Okay? So, if we have the intensity, for example, ito dito sa taas, uniformly loading siya. And yung resultant, nag-aak sa gitna. And yung resultant daw na to is yung area nitong ating diagram. So, yung area ng ating diagram, that will be yung length times yung height niya. So, yung height niya is yung intensity, which is yung W. Okay? So, ganun din. So, ito, area ng triangular loading. So, yung area ng triangle natin, that is equal to 1/2 base times height. So, yung base natin will be yung L. And yung height natin is yung intensity, which is yung W. Okay? So, yung resultant is equal to the area that is equal to 1/2 times yung L times yung W. Okay? So, let us have an example for this case. So, the beam AB in the figure supports a load which varies uniformly from an intensity of 60 pound per feet to 100 pound per feet. So, calculate the magnitude and position of the resultant load. So, class, kapag uniformly distributed yung ating load, so that is naka-pound per feet siya. So, meron siyang pound per linear, okay, distance. So, that will be per feet or per meter or per inches. So, ganon. So, in this case, meron tayong beam AB dito. And it supports a load na varies siya uniformly. So, dun sa point A, that is 60 pounds per feet. And dun sa point B, that is 180 pounds per feet. So, uniformly siya na tumataas. So, kung makikita nyo, this is a shape of a trapezoid. Okay? So, sabi natin, yung dito sa ating triangle, so that is yung location ng resultant niya is sa 2/3 ng ating length. Okay? So, in this case, trapezoidal yung ating loading. So, yung magandang pwede natin gawin dito, no? Pwede nating i-replace yung trapezoidal loading into 2 triangular loading. Tama? So, magkakaroon tayo actually ng dalawang resultant, and dun sa dalawang resultant na yon, we can get yung pinaka-resultant niya. Okay? Parang hahatiin lang natin siya into 2 triangular loading. Tama? So, in this case, calculate the magnitude and position of the resultant load. So, in this case, para madali nating masolve yung resultant, hatiin natin siya sa dalawang triangle, okay? Sa triangle distributed loading. So, trapezoid to. So, in this case, hatiin natin siya sa dalawa. So, actually, makakabuo tayo ng triangle dito. Okay? So, in this case, itong pinakadulo ng 60 pound per feet. So, that will be here. So, triangle na to, di ba, class? So, this is triangle. Yung height natin is yung 60 pounds. So, base, 12 feet or yung length. And magkakaroon tayo ng dalawang resultant. So, yung dito sa first triangle, so yung centroid ng triangle natin, nandito banda. So, we have a R1 here. And dun sa isang triangle, dito siya mag-act, dito banda. Okay? We have R2. Okay? And ito, yung distance nito will be equal to L over 3. Okay? Dito naman is yung 2/3 2L over 3. Okay? Yan. And dito naman sa R2 natin, so pag galing tayo dito sa point B, so that will be equal to L over 3 din. Tama? So, kunin natin yung dalawang R1 and R2. And dun sa R1 and R2, magkakaroon actually tayo ng yun na mismo yung resultant natin, yung resultant R natin. So, maybe nag-act siya dito, banda. Okay? So, dito. Okay? Ito yung R natin, resultant R natin. So, sabi natin, yung resultant force is equivalent to the area under the loading diagram. Okay? So, for R1, yung area ng ating R1 or yung resultant natin for R1, that is equal to yung area ng ating loading. Okay? So, that is triangle siya. So, that will be 1/2 times yung base that is 12 feet. That is 12 feet times yung intensity niya, that is 60 pound per feet. Okay? So, lalabas na lang dito is force kasi cancel yung feet doon. Okay? Yung feet dyan. So, that will be yung R1 natin will be equal to 360 pounds. Okay? And for R2, that is equal to the area nung isang portion natin dito sa may right portion. So that will be 1/2 yung base, yung length natin, that will be 12 feet multiplied by 180 feet per 180 pounds per feet. Okay. So, cancel yung feet. Anong matitira? That will be pounds na lang. So, yung R2 natin, that is equal to 1,080 pounds. Okay. So, therefore, yung resultant R natin, that is equal to yung summation lang, yung R1 and R2. So, that will be R1 plus R2. So, that is equal to 1,440 pounds. Okay. So, yung resultant force niya, so that is downward. So, that will be negative. Okay. Or that will be R is equal to 440 pounds downward. Okay? And calculate the magnitude and position of the resultant. So, yung position niya nung R natin, so that will be, so i-base natin from the point A. Okay? Dito sa point A. So, yung resultant nung R natin, so let's call this X. So, resultant of R from point A. Okay. So, sabi natin yung moment ng resultant at any point is equal to the moment of dong summation moment ng forces doon sa point na yon. Okay? In this case, let us mag-moment tayo doon sa point A, okay? Para doon yung basis natin nung distance nung R natin kung saan siya. So that will be summation. Okay. So yung moment nung resultant R natin at point A is equal siya dun sa summation moment, okay, nung uniformly distributed loading natin at point A. Okay? So, pwedeng i-moment natin na lang yung R1 and R2, yung resultant na dalawa. Okay? So, that will be, yung moment resultant natin is 1,440 pounds. So, that is 1,440 pounds. So, class, clockwise positive natin dito. Okay? So, that will be 1,440 pounds. So, clockwise siya times X. Tama? Is equal to summation moment ng dalawang forces, R1 and R2. So, that is equal to R1 natin is 360 pounds times 4. So, that will be 12 over 3 is 4 feet plus 1,080 times, so that will be, this is L over 3, 12 over 3 is 4. Yung natira dito sa kabila is 8, tama? So, that is 8. So, yung location niya, X will be equal to 7 feet. So, 7 feet to the left of A, or from the point A. Okay? So, this is our, this is the location of the resultant. Okay? And this is the resultant force. Okay. So, next, we have the resultant of non-concurrent and non-parallel force system. So, kapag sinabi nating non-concurrent, is yung intersection ng ating forces is hindi sila nag-i-intersect sa isang point lang. So, iba-iba. Non-parallel, from the non-parallel na word, so hindi parallel yung ating mga force system. Iba-iba yung kanilang direction. Okay? So, for our example, that compute the resultant of the three forces acting on the plate shown. Locate its intersection with AB and AC. Okay? So, for non-concurrent and non-parallel force system, so to get the resultant, actually, first is kukunin muna natin yung resultant ng X component and Y component natin. Okay? So, sabi natin, magkakaroon tayo dyan ng Rx and Ry. Resultant along X-axis and resultant along Ry. No? Para mas madali nating makompute yung resultant force mismo. And in getting the resultant, that is equal to the square root of Rx squared plus Ry squared. Okay? And para makuha natin yung location niya at an angle theta x, or at an angle about from the x-axis. Okay? So, kung ito yung x and y plane natin, example, and we have the resultant r, syempre yung direction yan, merong direction yan, no? At an angle theta x. Oh? This is x-axis and this is y-axis. So, para makuha natin yan, so Pythagorean theorem, so that will be equal to the inverse tan of Ry over Rx. Tama? So, this is the absolute value of Ry over Rx. Okay? So, ayun. So, in this case, yung problem natin, so meron tayong plate dito and we have three forces acting on it. So, compute the resultant and yung location ng kanyang intersection with AB and AC. So, first, dun muna tayo sa resultant. So we have three forces here. And magandang kunin natin is kunin muna natin yung mga X and Y component ng of each three forces. And yun na yung for Rx is yung summation ng X component. Yung ry is yung summation ng y component. Okay? So that will be yung rx natin, that is equal to the summation of forces along x component. Okay? So ang gawin natin dito, that will be going to the right will be positive. Tama? So that will be rx is equal to, so yung component ng 722 pounds. So meron tayong slope dito. So that is going downward, and we have the slope here. So may slope tayo dito. So this is 2 and this is 3 inch. So yung hypotenuse natin, so this will be automatic square root of 13. Tama? So for the x component ng 722 pounds, so that will be going to the left, no? Yan. Okay. So yung 722 pounds natin, so going to the left, so that is equal to negative. So negative 722 pounds. And yung gagamitin natin is yung 2. So for the x, that is 2 over the square root of 13. Okay? Multiplied by 2. So yung slope ang gagamitin natin. So yung slope natin, so yung along x, itong 2, di ba? Tama? So that will be 2 over yung hypotenuse, square root of 13. So that will be 2 over square root of 13 times negative 722 pounds going to the left, kaya negative. So next is for the 632 pounds. So kunin natin yung slope niya. So yung slope natin dito will be, so yung slope natin dito is ganito. So in this, dito sa y, along y axis, so yung slope natin dito is 3. So this is 6. And dito, this is 2 inch. Okay. So actually, pwede nating i-reduce ito. So 6 and 2, pwede silang i-reduce ito. Yung 2 will be 1 and 6 is to 3. Tama? Diba? So yung slope natin dito is actually 3 and 1. So yung hypotenuse niya will be the square root of 10. Tama? Okay, that is square root of 10. So for the 632 pounds, so nasa along x component tayo. So along x component, so this is 1 yung gagamitin natin. So that will be going to the right siya actually. So this is going to the right. Yan. And yung isa going to upward. So going to the right, that is positive. So that will be plus. So 1 over square root of 10 times yung force natin na 632. Okay. Yan. Plus, yung natitirang force natin, yung 1,000. Okay. So, kunin na ulit natin yung slope niya. So, yung slope natin dito sa 1,000. So, we have a slope here. So, this is actually 4. Tama? This is 4. And this is 3. So, yung hypotenuse niya, that will be 5. So, we have a 3, 4, 5 na triangle. So, for the 1,000 pounds, so yung gagamitin natin, along x tayo. So, this will be 4 over 5. Multiply natin siya ng 4 over 5. So, actually, yung component nitong 1,000 pounds will be dito. Yan. And we have going to the right. Okay. So, for the x component going to the right, that is positive. Yan, positive. Multiplied by 4 over 5 times yung 1,000 pounds. Okay? So, therefore, makukuha na natin yung value ng Rx natin. So, Rx will be equal to positive, it will give you positive 599.36 pounds. Tama? So, next, kunin naman natin yung resultant niya along y axis, or that is equal to ry is equal to summation of y components. Okay? So, dito na lang. So, that will be ry is equal to the summation of forces along y component. So that will be upward positive. Okay. Ayan. So in this case, we have the 722 pounds. So Rx is Ry pala, Ry is equal to, so yung 722 pounds going downward siya. Okay? So that will be negative ulit. Negative 722 times yung ating slope na gagamitin, that will be 3. Okay? Along y-axis. So 3 over square root of 13. That will be 3 over square root of 13. And for the 632 pounds, going upward siya, no? Going upward. So yung gagamitin natin na slope will be 3 over square root of 10. So that is positive going upward. So plus 632 times 3 over square root of 10. Tama. And for the 1,000 pounds, so that is going downward. So negative ulit tayo. Okay? So that will be minus 1,000. And yung slope na gagamitin natin, so yung slope natin is 3, 4, 5. So yung along y-axis is 3. So that will be multiplied by 3 over 5. Tama? Ayan. And for ry, that will be equal to, so summation, simplify lang natin equation natin. So that will give us negative 601.17 pounds. Okay. So nakuha na natin yung Rx and yung Ry natin. Tama? So for in getting the resultant R, so that is equal to the square root of Rx squared plus Ry squared. So i-substitute nyo na lang, class. So that will be give us a R is equal to 848.90 pounds. Tama? And para makuha natin yung angle theta niya about x-axis, so we have a theta about x-axis. So that is equal to the inverse tan of negative 1 times Ry over Rx. So this is the absolute value. So that is equal to the inverse tan. Is equal to, so ano yung Ry natin? So that is negative 601.17 over, for the Rx, that is 599.36. So the absolute value, class, no? So that will be give us an angle of theta x is equal to 45.09 degrees. Okay. So actually yung resultant natin, so is acting at R natin is equal to 848.90 pounds, no? Acting to the right. Okay? Acting to the right at an angle of 45.08 degrees, no? Down at the right, okay? To the right. The right at 45.09 degrees. Okay. So that is actually going to the right yung down at the right yung ating resultant force. Parang ganyan siya, going to the right at an angle yung 45.09 degrees. Okay. Yan. So balik tayo doon sa ating figure. So nakuha na natin yung resultant niya. So for the figure, so copy lang natin to ulit. Ayan. So yung ating resultant, so let us assume, so yung question sa atin, yung question problem, locate its intersection with AB and AC. Diba? So, intersection daw nung AB and AC. So, ito yung AB natin, tama? And AC natin. So, AC. Okay. So, sabihin na lang natin na dito. Okay? Yan. Either AC. Okay? Or dito, pa ganyan. So, that will be. So, sabi dun sa ating problem, locate its intersection with AB and AC. Tama? So, actually, ito yung AB and AC natin. So, mag-intersect siya dito sa, ito yung AB natin, line AB natin, and this is our line AC. So, horizontal. So, locate its intersection with AB and AC. Actually, let us assume na yung ating resultant, mag-act siya dito. So, yung resultant natin, di ba, 848.90 pounds. Down to the right, papuntang right at 45.09 degrees. Okay. So, actually, yung location natin will be dito, yung resultant R natin. So, assume natin, dito siya dadaan. Okay? Going to the right, di ba? Down to the right. No? So, ito yung R natin. So, sabi niya, locate its intersection with AB. So, yung kukunin natin is ito, yung intersection dito sa AB. So, mag-intersect siya somewhere here. No? Diyan. And somewhere dito, mag-intersection siya dito along BC. So, this is along BC pala, okay? So, magkakaroon siya ng distance from point C. So, let's call this dito is V. And siguro yung kabilang distance na lang, okay, ang gamitin natin dito sa BC. Tama? So, magkakaroon tayo ng distance dito. So, let's call this H horizontal and V vertical, no? Dun sa ating point line AB and line BC. Tama? So, dito tayo sa mas malaking figure. So, yung intersection niya, yung resultant is mag-intersect siya dito banda, no? Somewhere here, no? Going to the right at an angle of 45.09 degrees. No? So, this is our resultant. So, yung distance nito, yung intersection nito, so ito, no? So, dito banda, that will be so, meron tayong intersection dito. So, let's call this V. And yung intersection natin dito will be H. Ayan. So, kunin natin yung intersection niya. So, paano natin kukunin yon? So, to obtain the position of the line of action of the resultant, so assume natin na mag-intersect siya dito sa A and B and C. Okay. Okay, so para makuha natin yung vertical distance dito sa A and B, and for the horizontals from point horizontal from point B. Okay. So, kailangan nating mag-moment, no? So, distance na yung hinahanap natin. So, sabi natin, yung moment ng resultant, okay, yung moment ng resultant at any point. So, in this case, dito tayo sa point A, okay? So, para makuha natin yung vertical distance, so mag-moment tayo sa point A, and we can get the distance of the V, okay? So, moment of the resultant at point A is equal siya sa moment o sa summation moment ng mga forces natin, ng tatlong forces natin about A din, okay? So, in this case, kung titingnan niyo yung ating resultant is dito yung kanyang intersection, di ba? From AB going to BC. So, yung intersection niya dito sa AB, kung titingnan niyo yung R natin is meron tayong X and Y component, di ba? Dun sa ating resultant. So, dito sa intersection, magkakaroon tayo ng R y. Going downward and going to the right side, magkakaroon tayo ng rx. Okay? So, nakuha na natin tong rx and ry natin actually. And kung titingnan ninyo, kapag magmo-moment tayo sa point A, yung rx lang ang magmo-moment. Nakita nyo yon? So, itong ry, along yung line of action niya is magi-intersect sa point A, di ba? So, hindi natin siya mai-moment doon sa point A. So, ang magmo-moment lang, class, is yung rx. Tama? And kung mapapansin nyo, lahat ng x component, yun lang ang magmo-moment dito sa point A. Okay? So, sige, solve natin. So, that will be rx. So, yung rx natin is 599.36 pounds. So, yun yung rx natin. That will be 599.36 times yung vertical distance. So, that is times v is equal to, so by the way, ang gawin natin dito will be clockwise positive. Okay? So, itong 599 natin, magro-rotate siya about A. So, that is negative. Okay? Counterclockwise siya. Kaya, negative ito. So, that is equal to the summation of moment ng mga forces natin at point A. Okay? So, that will be, so, yung unahin natin tong 632 pounds. So, actually, meron tong, yung X component lang ang magro-rotate. Okay? About point A. So, di ba, meron tayong horizontal X and Y component. So, ito lang yung mag-rotate. Okay? Yung 632. And yung slope natin, dito, this is 3 and 1. And this is square root of 10. Tama? So, yung mag-rotate lang dito will be yung 632 times yung slope niya, that is 3 over square root of 10. Yung X component ng 632. Okay? So, that is square root of 10. Yan. So, going to counterclockwise siya, kaya negative din ito. Okay? So, this is negative. And then, ano pa yung may moment natin? So, that is, so, itong 1,000 pounds class, no? Kung titingnan ninyo, yung line of action niya is magi-intersect sa A. No? So, dun sa 1,000 pounds. Nakita nyo? So, ibig sabihin, itong 1,000 pounds, hindi na yan magro-rotate doon sa point A natin. Kasi, yung line of action niya, magi-intersect sa ating point A. So, ang magro-rotate na lang natitira is yung 722 pounds. Okay? So, for the 722 pounds, yung X component niya ang magro-rotate. Tama? So, meron tayong X and Y component dito. So, ito lang ang magro-rotate, yung X component ng 722. So, that is negative din. Tama? So, that will be equal to negative 722 times yung slope niya. So, that will be, yung slope neto is 2 over square root of 13. Tama. So, that is equal to, so, simplify na natin yung equation natin. So, makukuha na natin yung vertical distance ng V. So, that will be, V will give us 2 inch. Okay? So, yung V natin will be 2 inch below point A. Okay? So, this will be our answer for the vertical distance from point A. And next, yung H naman. So, yung horizontal distance, yung intersection ng line BC ng ating resultant. So, actually, para makuha natin yan, mag-moment naman tayo dito sa ating point B. Okay? So, dito sa point B tayo mag-moment. Okay? And actually, kung makita nyo yung point B natin, ang mga mag-moment lang dito will be yung ating RY, okay? So, kung titingnan ninyo, dito sa intersection, pag magko-component tayo dito sa ating R, so magkakaroon tayo dito ng RY. Okay? And dito is RX. So yung mag-rotate lang dito sa point B natin is yung RY lang. Okay? Nakita nyo yan? Kasi yung RX, line of action niya is yung mag-intersect siya doon sa B. Tama? So hindi magmo-moment yung RX natin. So ang imo-moment lang natin is yung RY. Tama? So actually lahat lang ng mga Y components ang magmo-moment sa B. Okay? So that will be moment ng resultant at point B is equal to the summation of moment ng ating mga forces at point B din. Okay? So that will be yung RY natin. Ano yung RY natin? That is negative 601.17. Okay. So ang gawin natin dito will be clockwise. Positive pa rin. So that will be 601.17. So downward, actually itong RY natin is downward siya, kaya negative yon, no? So this is 601.17. So i-substitute na natin yung RY natin. So that will be RY 601.17. Moment doon sa at point B. So that is clockwise, kaya positive to, no? So RY times H is equal to summation of forces at point B. So unahin natin yung 722 pounds. So that will be, ang magro-rotate lang dito sa 722 pounds is yung X component niya. Tama? Kasi yung Y component ng 722 pounds mag-intersect siya sa point B. So, ganun ulit pala, no? 722 pounds. So, that will be negative 722 times, yung slope niya, that will be 2 over square root of 13. Then next will be yung 632 pounds. So, dito yung intersection niya. Pag dito natin kukunin, okay? So, magkakaroon tayo ng X and Y component. So, kung mapapansin niyo, ang mag-rotate lang doon sa 632 pounds is yung kanyang Y component. Okay? So, pag nandito yung component niya, dito. Ayan. So, ang mag-rotate lang is itong Y component. Tama? So, that will be plus 632 pounds. Yung slope niya, so that will be 2 over square root of 10. Ay, 3 pala. So that will be 3 over square root of 10. Okay? So yun yung slope natin for the 632 pounds. So that will be 3 over square root of 10. Yung vertical niya. No? That is 3 over square root of 10. So yung vertical lang ang mag-rotate. So, yung direction ng kanya, rotation niya, that is counterclockwise. So, class, this is negative pala. Okay? So, minus. Mag-rotate yung vertical component dito. So, that is the negative. And for the last one is itong 1,000 pounds. So, actually, yung X component lang din naman ang mag-rotate dito sa ating 1,000 pounds. So, yung line of action nitong 1,000 pounds, so kung dito natin kukunin, so for the 1,000 pounds, so meron tayong Y component and X component dun sa 1,000 pounds. At ang mag-rotate lang is ito. Okay? Yung X component ng 1,000. So, that will be positive siya. No? Kasi clockwise, so that is plus 1,000 times ano yung slope nitong 1,000 force natin. So that will be 4 over 5. So 3, 4, 5 yung triangle natin. Tama? So 3, 4, 5. So that will be 1,000 times 4 over 5. So yung 4 is in yung sa may bandang horizontal. Okay, so hypotenuse is 5. So yun na. Okay, so makukuha na natin yung distance natin na h, so that is equal to 4 inches. Okay, so actually yung h natin is mag-intersect siya mismo sa point C. Okay, so yung h natin will be 4 inch to the right of B. Okay, at from point B, sabihin na lang natin. Okay, from point B. So yun na yung ating location ng ating resultant. Okay, okay, so next problem tayo. So determine the resultant of the three forces acting on the dam shown and locate its intersection with the base AB. So for good design, this intersection should occur within the middle third of the base. That's it. So we have a system of forces here, no? This is non-concurrent and non-parallel force system. So they are acting, so the three forces are acting on the dam. So sabi niya dito, determine the resultant of the three forces that intersects at AB. Okay? So actually yung ating dam, yung resultant ng ating dam will be magi-intersect siya dito sa ating base AB. So ganito. Yan. So ganito yung ating resultant R. And sabi niya dito, for good design, this intersection should occur within the middle third of the base. Okay. So kung ito yung ating base, so yung middle third niya is, so hatiin lang natin to sa tatlo. Okay, so ayan, so this one, so that is tig 6 feet sila, di ba? Tama, 666. So yung middle third natin is itong portion na to. Okay, this portion yung nasa gitna, so ito ang middle third natin. So yung for good design, dapat yung resultant nung tong three forces na ito ay mag-intersect dito sa middle third. Okay, so kunin natin yung resultant and yung distance ng resultant from point A. Okay, so ganun ang gawin natin. So from point A na lang, so dito, no? So yung resultant natin, distance niya dito, so let's say that is x. Okay, so solve muna natin. So pag non-concurrent and non-parallel, so magkakaroon tayo dito ng Rx and Ry. Okay, so kunin muna natin yung resultant along x-axis. So that will be Rx is equal to the summation of forces along x component. That will be going to the right is positive. So for Rx, summation of forces along horizontal. So that is R will be equal to 10,000 pounds. Okay. So ano pa yung x component natin? So itong force F natin. So itong force F natin actually will give us a x and y component. So for force F, yan. So magkakaroon tayo dyan ng Fy. And then Fx. Okay. So kailangan nating i-determine yung angle neto. So that is equal to, so kung ang slope neto is 60 degrees, okay. So if the slope of yung dam natin 60 degrees and yung force F natin is naka perpendicular siya dito. Okay. Tama? So perpendicular siya. So this is, so i-drawing ko lang. Yan. So ito, yung dam natin 60 degrees and yung force F natin perpendicular siya dito sa inclined surface, no? So automatic this is 90 degrees, tama? So, if this is 60 degrees, this is 90 degrees. So, ano yung matitira dito sa horizontal? Angle natin. No? So, yung angle theta natin, that will be, kung nilagay natin to, same lang din yan. Di ba? Kung dito. Punta natin dito sa baba. So, that is 90 degrees. So, yung matitira dito. So, this is 90. So, 90 plus 60. So, that will be 180 minus 60 minus 90. So, it will give us 30 degrees. Tama? Okay. So, yung theta natin dito will be 30 degrees. Okay, this is 30 degrees. Yan. So, yung x component ng ating force F, that is, so going to the left, so minus yung f of x, that is 6,000 pounds. So, by 30 degrees. So, cosine yung gagamitin natin kasi adjacent over hypotenuse. So, yung adjacent ng angle, yung distance ay yung side na adjacent dun sa angle is yung f of x natin. So, cosine yung gagamitin natin. Cosine 30 degrees. Okay? So, yun na yung force F natin. So, yung Rx natin, so this is Rx. Rx will be 4,803.85 pounds. Okay? And for Ry naman, summation of forces along Y, going up is positive. Okay? So, Ry is equal to, so yung weight ng dam natin is 24,000 pounds. Okay? Nag-act siya at 7 feet from point A. So, yung 24,000 going downward, that is negative. Negative 24,000 pounds. And yung Fy natin, di ba? So, that is downward then, minus yung Fy, that will be 6,000 pounds. So, yung Fy, ang gagamitin natin, that is sine. So, sine 30 degrees. So, sine, opposite yung sides, yung Fy, opposite sa angle, so sine yung gagamitin natin. Tama? So, Ry will give us a negative 27,000 pounds. Okay. So, yon. Meron na tayong Ry and Rx. So, para makuha natin yung resultant mismo ng ating three forces, that will be R is equal to the square root of Ry squared plus Rx squared. Okay? So, i-substitute nyo na lang. That will be R is equal to 27,424.02 pounds. Okay? Ngayon, let's determine yung value ng x, yung kung saan magi-intersect yung ating resultant at line AB or yun sa base niya. Okay? So, kapag middle third, ibig sabihin, good design siya. Okay? So, para makuha natin yung x, kailangan natin mag-moment at point A. Okay? So, i-moment natin yung resultant at point A. Tama? So, actually, magkakaroon tayo ng Rx and Ry. So, i-drawing ko yung base niya, no, para maintindihan nyo. Okay. So, kung ito yung base ng ating dam, okay. So, ito yung dam natin. And yung resultant niya is dito banda. Okay. So, this is R. And hanapin natin yung X. Okay. So, this is point A and this is point B. Okay. Ngayon, yung resultant R natin is meron tayong Rx and Ry. Okay. Tama? So, meron tayong Rx and Ry. So, ang mag-moment lang is yung Ry. Tama? Tama, di ba? So, yung RY lang ang magmo-moment. So, sabi natin, yung moment ng resultant at point A is equal to siya sa summation moment ng 3 forces at point A. Tama, yung 3 forces at point A. So, mag-moment tayo. So, that will be clockwise positive yung gawin natin. So, yung RY natin, that is 27,000 pounds. Negative 27,000 pounds or 27,000 pounds downward. So, clockwise yung direction niya. So, that will be RY will be 27,000 times X. Tama? Is equal to, so yung equal to, so summation ng ating 3 forces. So, yung 10,000 pounds, magro-rotate. So, positive clockwise siya. So, 10,000 pounds times 6 feet. Tama? So, that will be 10,000 pounds times 6 feet. Ano pa yung mag-rotate? So, itong 24,000 pounds downward. So, 7 feet. Okay? Yung distance niya from point A. So, positive din kasi clockwise siya. So, that will be 24,000 pounds times 7 feet. Okay. And then, ano pa yung mag-moment doon? So, that is yung force F pa natin. So, that will be yung force F natin. Yung mag-moment sa force F natin is yung Fy. Tama? So, yung Fy ang mag-moment. So, kunin natin yung distance ng Fy doon sa from point A. Okay? So, kung ito ay i-drawing natin yung distance natin. So, yung Fy natin is 6,000 sine 30. Tama? So, that will be plus 6,000 sine 30. So, yung distance niya, paano natin kukunin yung distance niya? So, kung ito yung dam natin ulit, okay. Okay, so ito yung dam natin. And ito yung F natin. Force F natin. So, meron siyang Fy and F of X dito. So, yung distance nito is 4 feet. And may yung angle natin dito is 60 degrees. Tama? Yung angle natin down, 60 degrees. Okay? So, para makuha natin yung distance, so kung ito yung point A natin, so kunin natin yung distance nito. So, yung distance nito will be, so let's call this as A, yun na yung distance natin na A. Para makuha natin yan, so kailangan natin makuha itong distance na to. At ima-minus na lang natin siya dun sa 18 feet na distance nung buong dam. Okay? So, para makuha natin yung distance na to, let's call this B. So, given yung 60 degrees angle and given yung hypotenuse. Tama? So, magsukatawa lang tayo. So, yung gagamitin natin dito will be cosine. Tama? So, cosine 60 degrees is equal to adjacent. So, that will be B over yung hypotenuse 4 feet. So, B will be equal to 4 cosine 60 degrees. Tama? So, 4 cosine 60, 2 feet. Okay, yung B natin will be 2 feet. So, 18 minus 2 feet, so that is equal to 16 feet. So, yung Fy natin, yung distance niya from point A will be 16 feet. So, 16 feet yung i-multiply natin dito. Tama? 16 feet. Ayan. So, burahin lang natin to. Feet. So, makukompute na natin yung X natin. So, that is equal to, so 27,000 times alpha X is equal to 10,000 times 6 plus 24,000 times 7 feet plus 6,000 sine 30 times 16. So, that will give us the value of x will be 11.5236 feet. Okay? So, yung x natin will be 11.5236 feet from point A. Okay? So, from point A. So, kung ito yung dam natin, so drawing ulit natin yung ano, para mas okay. So, this is a point A and this is point B. So, yung resultant niya is 11 feet. Okay? So, nandito siya banda. So, para mas ma-imagine niyo, nandito banda yung ating x. Okay? So, that will be yung x natin dito will be 11.5236. So, ito yung distance niya from point A. So, yung location ng resultant natin is 11.5236 feet from point A. Okay? So, pwede rin natin yung nandun sa module nyo, yung sagot dun sa module nyo. Module ninyo is from point B siya. Okay? So, kunin lang natin. 18 yung whole na distance ng ating dam, di ba? So, that will be yung distance from point B, that will be x. Y na lang. So, yung distance naman from point B, so that will be 18 minus 11.5236. So, that will give us 8.44 feet from point B. Okay? So, any of the two will give us the correct answer. Tama? So, yung question sa atin is kung tatama ba sa middle third yung ating resultant. Okay? So, yung middle third ng ating base. So, this is 18. So, yung middle third ng ating base. So, hatiin natin yan sa tatlo. So, tatama siya, di ba? So, if this is 6 feet, 6 feet din to. Then 6 feet. So, 11. So, kung ito is 12 feet, ayun, 12 feet. Ayun, tumama siya sa middle third. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, tatama yung resultant natin sa middle third ng ating base ng dam. Okay? So, yes ang sagot dun sa ating question. Okay? We will go now sa ating last problem. Ano? So, the hoe truss shown carries the given loads. So, the wind loads are perpendicular to the inclined members. So, determine the resultant and its intersection with A and B. Okay? So, meron tayong truss dito and subjected siya sa loads, sa wind loads. And given yung ating mga loading, that is naka-incline dito, perpendicular sa incline ng ating truss. And we have the perpendicular din dito sa kanyang bottom chord. That is 3,000, 2,000, and 1,000 pounds. So, determine the resultant and its intersection. Okay? So, yung magiging resultant ng ating forces will be dito, no? Nandito siya banda. So, naka-incline siya. Pa ganyan, no? So, nandyan banda yung kanyang resultant. Okay? So, sabi niya doon, determine R and its point of intersection with AB. So, i-determine din natin yung point of intersection niya. So, siguro, ilagay natin dito yung R natin. Tama? Parang sa module ninyo. Okay? So, ito yung R natin. Hanapin din natin yung kanyang intersection, location, from point A. Okay? So, let's call this X. Okay? Yan. So, in getting the resultant, so magkakaroon tayo ng Rx and Ry. Tama? So, we will have a Rx and Ry. So, kunin muna natin yung Rx natin. So, that will be Rx is equal to summation of forces lang along x. Then, going to the right is positive. So, Rx will be equal to, so yung mga x component lang nitong mga inclined forces natin. Tama? So, for our inclined forces, ano yung slope niya? So, yung height ng ating truss is 10 feet. And 40 feet yung kanyang buong distance. And yung sa gitna niya, that is 20 feet. Okay. So, naka-perpendicular yung ating force dun sa ating top chord. So, yung slope nito will be, so this will be 1 and this will be 2. Okay. So, parang yung slope kasi na ito is, so 10 feet yon, so 20 feet. So, we can reduce that as 1:2 na slope. So, yung hypotenuse niya is square root of 5. Tama? So, for Rx is yung x component lang ng ating mga inclined forces. So, that is equal to 1,120 pounds. Times, so yung x component, yung gagamitin natin is yung 1. So, that will be 1 over square root of 5. Yan. And, plus 2,240 pounds times 1 over square root of 5. Tama? Plus, meron pa tayong isang 1,120 doon. Times, yung slope niya, that will be 1 over square root of 5. Okay. So, Rx will give us, so yung Rx natin is equal to 2,003.52 pounds. Okay. So, yun na yung Rx natin. And for Ry natin, so ganun din, summation of forces. So, Ry is equal to summation of forces along y. So, going up is positive. So, Ry will be equal to, so puro downward siya, so that will be negative. So, yung y component naman, nung tatlong force dito sa taas, so gagamitin natin is yung 2. Okay? So, that will be 2 over square root of 5. So, pare-paras naman yung slope niya, kaya ipag-addin na lang natin yung tatlong force doon. So, that will be 1,120 plus 2,240 plus 1,120. So, minus to class. So, minus yan. Minus yung natitirang force na tatlo sa baba. So, that is 3,000 minus 2,000 minus 1,000. Okay. So, Ry will give us, so that is negative 10,007.03 pounds. Okay. So, meron na tayong Ry and Rx. So, yung resultant force natin will be equal to R is equal to the square root of Rx squared plus Ry squared. So, substitute yun na lang. So, yung R natin will be 10,205.62 pounds. Okay? So, ito yung R natin. And yung location ay yung theta x natin. Okay? Yung angle of inclination natin. So, that will be equal to theta about x, or from the horizontal x, is equal to the inverse tan of yung Rx Ry over Rx natin. Okay? So, i-substitute nyo na lang. That will give us 78.68 degrees. Okay? So, yun yung ating resultant. So, yung resultant natin will be 10,200 pound 10,205.62 pounds. Down to the right at 78.68 degrees. And kunin na naman natin yung x niya. So, yung location ng ating resultant. So, the location of our resultant from point A. So, that is x. So, ang gagawin natin is magsa-summation moment tayo at point A. Tama? So, summation moment at point A. So, moment ng ating resultant at point A is equal to the summation of moment ng ating mga forces at point A. Okay. So, that will give us, so, actually, yung magmo-moment lang dito sa ating resultant is yung Ry. Okay. So, kung dito yung intersection niya, so magkakaroon tayo ng Ry and magkakaroon tayo ng Rx. So, yung Rx natin, hindi na mag-rotate sa point A kasi yung line of action ng Rx mag-intersect sa point A. So, yung Ry lang actually ang mag-rotate. Tama? So, that will be equal to yung Ry natin. Ano yung Ry natin? 10,703 times yung x. Okay? So, clockwise positive class always. Clockwise positive. So, going down yung Ry natin and mag-rotate sa point A. So, positive siya kaya clockwise siya kaya positive. Okay? So, that is equal to summation moment ng A. So, kunin lang natin tong figure natin. Ayan. So, ito yung resultant natin. Nandito banda. So, R. So, yung i-moment natin, yung mga forces. So, that will be, itong 1,020 pounds, hindi na yan mag-rotate at point A, no? Kasi yung line of action niya nakadiretso sa point A. Tama? So, hindi na natin yan i-rotate. So, ang mag-rotate is yung 2 to 40 pounds. Okay? So, that will be 2,240 pounds times, so, yung distance na ito. So, ano tong distance na to? Parehas lang din yan doon. So, given yung slope natin, no? Tama? Given yung slope natin. So, if this is 2, this is 1 is to 2, and then square root of 5 yon. So, we can use the similar triangle. Tama? So, kung ayun is 10, that will be, let's call this A na lang din, no? Yung distance natin dito. Okay? That is A. Yan. So, yung distance natin dito, this is yung triangle natin, is square root of 5. Yung hypotenuse niya, di ba? Kita niyo yan? So, kung i-drawing natin siya dito, similar triangle. So, this is 2, this is 1, this is square root of 5. You know? And this is 10. And this is 5, no? Yung kalahati niya lang din yan, no? So, kalahati lang. This is 5. So, similar triangle. So, that will be, so, let's call this A. So, that will be A over 10 is equal to square root of 5 over 2. So, that is yung properties natin, no? Sa math. So, that will be, A will give us is equal to 11.18, no? So, 11.18. So, yung A natin dito will be 11.18. So, yung distance nito is 11.18. Tama? Ayan. So, burahin lang natin to. So, alam na natin yung distance. So, multiplied by 11.18. So, clockwise siya, kaya positive. And then, yung isa pa, 1,120 pounds plus 1,120 pounds times. So, perpendicular distance is twice lang ng 11.18. Tama? So, that is 22.36. Okay? 22.36. Plus, yung tatlong forces na nandun sa baba, mag-rotate din yan. So, that will be equal to plus 3,000 multiplied by 10 feet plus 2,000 multiplied by 10 plus 10, that is 20 feet, and plus 1,000 times 30 feet. Okay. So, makukuha na natin yung distance x natin. Tama? So, for the distance x is equal to 15 feet. Okay. So, 15 feet from point A or to the right of A. Okay. So, nakuha na natin yung location ng ating resultant from point A. So, that will be our final answers.